Good evening, this is Pastor Jerry again with Raise Ministries. We're at our project at the Kannapolis Children's Home. We support them with vegetables and things of that sort. We support their ministry, and they're gracious enough to let me use this land. You can see some things we're involved in. We're putting up a picnic shelter where we'll have a place where we can teach out of the sun. We're all about teaching and training individual groups, individuals, Boy Scout troops, mission teams, anything. We train everybody in the in permaculture, of which the primary part is raised bed gardening. My primary field is we go overseas to third world countries where people are hungry and sometimes they're literally starving, and we teach them organic raised bed gardening. In that, most places in the world ask us to grow a few things. We've learned about 10 years ago, we had been going and growing superfoods, and then we found out, amazingly, that not everybody eats broccoli and kale and moringa and all those things that are best for you. And so now, part of our genius, I think, if it's genius at all, is simplicity. We ask the folks what their top 5 or 10 things they want. We don't do corn and rice because those are field crops. They take too much water, too much space. And invariably, folks in third world countries will ask for corn and rice. But then they'll ask for squashes, pumpkins, tomatoes, onions, carrots, those type of things. Those are in our wheelhouse. So speaking of tomatoes, I'll give you a tip today. It's getting towards the end of the season, and in a previous video I told you about the hornworms. Here's a plant that the tomato hornworms, if you've never seen one, you are blessed. God bless you. I'm glad you haven't. If you've seen one, you probably thought it was a bad joke by someone who got a little plastic toy. They look otherworldly. Look them up on Google. Thank God I cannot show you one right now because I've practiced hornwormicide, killing everyone I can find. But here's one that got through, and this is what they did. So this particular plant probably bore about, I'd say about 45 to 50 pounds of Cherokee purple tomatoes, heirlooms. We save the seeds, so everything we do is sustainable. And rather than pull it up, whenever you have a plant that's diseased or damaged, we don't want to leave that in the garden. I don't know if hornworms do lasting damage, but I'm not going to take the chance. And rather than pull the stalk up, this stalk was probably at one point about 6.5 feet high. We're going to cut it off the ground. Most of the time in my formative years, people just said, go pull up the stalk, so that's what I did. But my mentor, Mike Price, a U.S. Department of Agriculture fruit and vegetable inspector, taught me his way. And now we cut it off at the ground. I'll take the existing stalk, put it in the compost pile, so I'll reclaim the nitrogen, phosphorus, trace minerals, the potassium from this plant. It'll be in my compost, so the cycle of life, it'll use it next. Garden will use it next year. But by cutting it off at the bottom, we don't disturb the soil structure. And soil has a structure just like your body does. My mentor, Mike Price, taught me that the garden is a living thing. It eats the things we put in it, the compost, the mulch, the manure, and breaks it down into the soil solution, which the root hairs can take up and make a plant and make us fruit and vegetables to eat. So rather than destroy that soil texture or the structure, we cut it off. And then next year, all that root system of the tomato has formed channels. That'll be channels that the next plant, which will not be a tomato, can follow down those root channels. And it's just like water. It follows the least path of resistance. For those of you who are learning, who don't have preconceived ideas, these little tips are really great. So that's one of them. I'm going to show you. I'll just take my handy dandy clippers. I don't know if I'm taking a shot at this. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I'll just get my clippers, hawkbill clippers. Hopefully you're getting a shot of that. I know something just spun, but once again, my day job is I'm a pastor. I am not a videographer. Here we go. You can probably see that where I'm about to cut it off. I'm going to say goodbye and then I'm gonna snip off this hornworm ravaged Cherokee purple heirloom plant. God bless you. This is Pastor Jerry with Raised Ministries. Have a great evening.